Sauce Gardner.
Sauce Gardner is a New York Jet!
Swaggy Sauce Gardner.
I love Sauce. I love his tape. I love his press technique. I love his confidence. He has everything you want to see in the position. And I think Robert Saleh in this scheme is perfect. It's a hand-in-glove fit for him, man.
Garrett Wilson.
It's Garrett Wilson! The New York Jets have just got two big-time playmakers!
I believe that Garrett Wilson is going to be the most impactful rookie receiver in this class. And I think we see Zach Wilson play like he did the last 6 games of the year, times 10, and have a phenomenal second season.
Wow, you think? Yeah! Yeah! Let's Jermaine Johnson!
Brees Hall, running back, Iowa State.
Brees Hall, oh my God, they got him! They went offense. They went with the best running back in the draft. Jeremy Rucker, oh my God! The Long Island native is a New York Jet!
J-E-T-S, Jet.
Let's go!
Yo, what is good, Jets Nation? Welcome back to another Jets Media live stream. Happy Friday to everybody. 2 days away from the Jets and the Broncos matchup. Whether you're watching this live on YouTube or you're watching this live on Twitter, welcome to another Jets Media live stream. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. So we have some things to talk about. Obviously, last night we heard that Elijah Moore wants out of here. But we heard from the head coach, Robert Saleh, and he said trading Elijah is not an option. Other news, if you guys are not aware, Elijah Moore will be inactive on Sunday. Denzel Mims will be active to make his season debut. So there's a lot to unpack with this Elijah Moore situation, and I had to go live to give you guys my overall thoughts. Obviously, you saw me yesterday when I went live 10 minutes after the news broke that he requested a trade. And for anybody that's been watching my channel and know me well, Elijah Moore has been one of my favorite, if not my favorite Jets players all offseason heading into this year. So it kind of rubbed me the wrong way that we were even talking about this situation. But hey, it's the business. Stuff like this happens. When you're on a team that is filled with young talent like this and one player's not getting the ball and everybody else is getting the ball and winning, he feels like the odd man out. I'm not a fan of how he handled the situation. But I think there is still an opportunity for this whole thing to resolve. We heard from Robert Saleh this morning, and I think the head coach really handled this situation very well. He's defending his player as he should. I know the fans are already turned on Elijah, so you don't want the head coach to defend his player, but that's what the head coach's job is going to do. Robert Saleh's job is to coach his players and to resolve this situation with Elijah Moore. You want Robert Saleh to go out there and just start calling him out and calling him a selfish player? That's just going to make this more of a toxic situation. So I really love the way Robert Saleh handled it. They had a conversation. Elijah Moore's at the facility right now, and he's going to be inactive on Sunday. So obviously Elijah Moore is just not good right now mentally, which is why he's not playing Sunday. And the fact is, the Jets have a chance to resolve this situation, but it's also up to Elijah Moore, most importantly, to realize what's going on, right? The Jets are 4-2. You are being targeted in your first. I saw a stat from the Buffalo Jet fan, great YouTuber and great Twitter account. He tweeted something yesterday that Elijah Moore in this first 17 games has more targets than Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs in their first 17 career games in the league. So it's not like Elijah Moore in his first 17 career games is just not involved in this offense. Now, yes, this season hasn't been the case. Corey Davis is getting more targets. Garrett Wilson's getting more targets. The running backs are getting more targets in the passing game. I understand all of that. But the reality is, are you a player that is, all about yourself and trying to get individual stats, or are you trying to win? And I think Elijah Moore will tell us all that he's trying to be the reason why they're winning. I think that's the biggest issue in terms of Elijah Moore and putting yourself in his shoes. He wants to be a reason why the Jets are winning ball games. And right now, he's simply not a reason why. He's not contributing. I saw this coming, to be honest. I mean, I didn't see him demanding a trade at all. But I did feel a little something. Because how many times have we saw, the New York Jets social media team post videos after a Jets W of all the players hyped up. And I never saw Elijah Moore in any of those videos. How many times did we see at practice videos of, like, asking questions? Who's your favorite villain? Stupid stuff, quote of the day, whatever the case may be on practice. The Jets do a great job of getting the players involved in the social media. I have not seen Elijah Moore at all. Now, I don't know if that's because he's just avoiding the social media. He doesn't want it. He's not in a good headspace. I don't know. But the fact is, the Jets have an opportunity to resolve the situation. And the fact is, the Jets are not trading Elijah Moore. And Elijah's got to wrap his head around that, because we have all the leverage here. The Jets have all the leverage. We have him for 2 more years after this one under a cheap contract. So if Elijah wants to get paid the money that he thinks he's going to be deserved when his contract is up, this is not the type of stuff that you want to be doing, because you are the brand. A team, whether it's the New York Jets or another NFL team, is not going to want to invest a lot of money in a player that gives up on a team that's winning because they're not getting the ball. That doesn't bode well with GMs. I'm sure this is not helping his value. So he has to look inward right now and understand, like, okay, I'm frustrated. I want to be part of winning. How can I resolve this? And hey, maybe this is Elijah Moore's way of telling the team how frustrated he really is. And best case scenario, me just being an optimist and me looking at this and maybe this is what's going to happen. Who knows? Could not happen at all. But maybe Elijah Moore has a week off. He comes back against the Patriots. He starts contributing. He starts scoring touchdowns. He starts going off. The Jets continue to win. Everybody's happy. I don't think that's right. I don't want to say that's 100% going to happen, because that's very, that's just me being an optimist about this situation. But the reality is Elijah Moore wants out, and the Jets are winning. And I think Jets fans, we need to take a breath and appreciate the fact that this is the problem that we're dealing with. Because how many times have the Jets, as a franchise, dealt with something like this, but it's a complete opposite situation, whereas we're losing and we have 1 or 2 good players, and those 2 players won out. This is different. We're winning, and we have so much talent to the point where one of them feels left out, and they won out. That's a pretty good problem to have, if you're asking me. Now, I don't like this problem. Don't make it seem like I'm happy about this problem. But if you're telling me that the issue here is that Joe Douglas built this offense so well, and they gave Zach Wilson so many options, and that this offense has so many mouths to feed, to the point where one of the players is so frustrated that he wants to be traded, it's a problem, but it's not the worst problem this franchise has ever had. And that's my point. That's my point here. So if you want to take yourself out and rewind years in the past and focus where this Jets team has been to where they're at today, it will give Jets fans a little understanding that things are definitely changing. Now, I don't want this whole distraction to start changing the narrative around the Jets, that it's the same old Jets again. Here we go, another distraction, some off the field stuff. That's what I'm trying to say. So Elijah Moore is frustrated with his usage. So you can really, you can say there's 2 sides of the story, right? I think the Jets need to get Elijah Moore involved better. I think the Jets need to use him more as a weapon in the slot and inside. Don't run him on go routes, right? I think there's 2 sides of the situation here where the Jets are not using Elijah Moore properly, and that's probably why he's frustrated, because he does not feel like the Jets coaching staff is putting him in the right situation to succeed and not putting him in the right situation to contribute to winning. So that's where Elijah's standpoint is. You guys are running me on go routes. You're using me as a decoy. You're not passing me the ball. You're not giving me the right routes that I'm comfortable with. But the fact is, this Jets team is winning. So why would the Jets want to abandon the game plan that's winning the ball games just to satisfy a player? That's really what it comes down to. And for the people saying that this is because of Zach, no. Elijah was frustrated with Joe Flacco too. It all started week 3. Actually, it started week 2 after Garrett Wilson had his breakout game when he had over 100 yards, the game-winning touchdown, and 2 touchdowns. So this New York Jets team, they're winning. because of their defense, because of running the ball. The Jets are 3-0 since Zach Wilson returned. And almost 0-3 with Flacco outside of that fluke win with the Browns. Shout out to Flacco for getting that dub. My point is, ever since Zach Wilson returned, the run game started getting going and the defense started playing lights out. And you cannot fault Zach Wilson for not finding Elijah Moore when he's not asked to throw the ball a lot. If you guys know football, you know that just because Zach Wilson is not putting up a lot of numbers does not mean he's not playing good football right now. It doesn't mean he's playing excellent football. It doesn't mean that Zach Wilson should be, we should be praising Zach on being the franchise quarterback. But it also doesn't mean that he's playing bad. The fact is, the offense is playing hardcore, sound, fundamental, running down your throat football and relying on their run game and their defense to win games. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Now, has the passing game took a little decline? Yes, it has. The Green Bay Packers shut down our pass game. Jair Alexander was 1-on-1 on Garrett Wilson all game, and he literally shut down the rookie. Corey Davis was getting open, and Zach found him on two big plays. So we need to understand that there's a lot of things that needs to happen for this situation to be resolved. It comes from Elijah Moore's perspective, and it comes from the Jets coaching staff. I think the Jets coaching staff are handling this very well. I got to give tip my cap. All gas, no brakes, 60% positive vibes only. Shake my head. Hopefully the other philosophies we are following so well don't start slipping. I hope not, man. I hope not. I hope that we stick to the game plan, because what is the game plan? The game plan is running the ball and playing good defense. So let's stick to that game plan. Covered in sauce. I appreciate the $5 donation, my man. It means a lot. So I got to ask some people in the chat a question. Would you rather the Jets do what they did with Joe Flacco and pass the ball 50 and 60 times per game and lose, or run the ball, play good defense, and win? It's that simple. If you're looking at Zach Wilson's stats and looking at the pass game and saying that the offense is stale right now and stuff, you got to realize the context of the situation. I want to win football games. This Jets team hasn't won football games in years. And we're sitting here complaining over individual stats. Look at yourself in the mirror, Jets fans. And realize that some of you sound crazy right now. Literally nuts. I'm sorry, but you do. A recipe for losing is how we handled Joe Flacco in the beginning of the season. Throwing the ball 50 times. Now, he put up numbers. He put up 300 plus yards because we're playing from behind. So, for the people that's saying Zach Wilson's bad because he has 3 games that he's won all 3. One of them, by the way, Zach single-handedly won that game for the Jets, by the way. Don't get that twisted. He literally carried the offense down the field twice for 2 game-winning drives. And then the next 2 games against the Dolphins and the Packers, we do not need to rely on Zach. Want to know why? Because we have a stud in Breece Hall, and we can run it down your throat. And we have a defense that's playing great defense. So now people are saying, but look at Zach. The passing attack is declining with Zach. Do you not understand context? You want to just... You're telling me in the fourth quarter, right, against the Packers, you'd prefer the Jets to pass the ball when we're winning? Do you not know how football works? When you have a lead in the fourth quarter, you want to run the ball, drain the clock out, and win the damn game. This is about W's, people. This is about wins. I don't care how we win. The fact is we're winning ball games. And why should the Jets abandon their game plan if we're winning? They're going to try to pass the ball, but if they shut down the pass and they can't stop the run, why not run the ball 11 straight times? You feel me? So the one thing I am excited for is Denzel Mims' return. He's going to get his opportunity. Now, we are going up against one of the best defenses in the NFL. Literally the first ranked defense, by the way, in the Denver Broncos. So this offense has to be ready. Offensive line needs to be ready. Wide receivers, tight ends, and of course the quarterback, Zach Wilson, needs to be ready. So the Jets have a big-time test against this Denver Broncos defense. Big-time test. And I'm really excited to see Denzel Mims because Denzel Mims looked like he's in the best shape he's ever been. The preseason, he had a phenomenal game. And a lot of Jets fans want to see what Denzel Mims can do. I was one of the biggest Denzel Mims fans when we drafted him. I thought he was the guy. Like, when we drafted Denzel, I thought, like, he was going to be our number one receiver for the future. And then, obviously, he flashed as a rookie. And then year 2, he didn't get healthy. He had food poisoning. We all know what happened last year. And now this season, we're expecting Denzel to be a depth piece. And now this is his opportunity. So if Denzel Mims really wants to prove that he has a role in this team, now's the time he has to seize the opportunity, and I'm rooting big time for Denzel. So now, big time test. So if you want to talk about the Jets when it comes to this Elijah Moore situation, listen, it's just really unfortunate that the one time this Jets team is winning, we can't win. We can't win in peace, right? And I love that people are pointing fingers right now like we're losing. Wake up. We're winning, guys. We are winning football games. Like, this would be a completely different conversation, by the way, if we were losing and then Elijah Moore demands a trade. That would be a completely different conversation. But that's not the case. We are a winning football team. We have the second best record in the entire conference. Zach Wilson proved that he can put the team on his back and win us a football game against Pittsburgh. He's proved that he could be a game manager and not turn the ball over and rely on the running attack against the Dolphins and then against the Packers. So now, I'm not expecting this Jets team, by the way, to all of a sudden start airing it out. Because maybe if we're going up against a defense that's not the Denver Broncos, I can see us airing it out potentially. But the reality is the Denver Broncos have not given up any touchdown passes this year. They've given up 1 touchdown pass since week 2. So everybody that is begging this Jets team to start airing it out and passing the ball and Zach to get all of his stats, probably not going to happen this week. The Broncos held Justin Herbert to no touchdowns and an interception. Justin Herbert's one of the top quarterbacks in the league. And by the way, the Chargers won that game. Are Chargers fans pissed off that Herbert's not getting his stats? Yes, I know it's different. Herbert has established himself as a star quarterback, a young quarterback in this league. He's put up the numbers already. But my point is, why would you abandon the game plan that's winning you football games just to satisfy people? No spamming in the chat. So listen, man. This is a big-time test for the Jets on Sunday. I'm excited to watch them seize this opportunity. And I am really excited to see what Denzel Mims can do. I really am. I think Denzel Mims has a chance. Jeff Smith is also going to be involved in this offense as well. So we have to realize that this is going to be a big test for this Jets culture and this Jets identity, because how can they deal with all of that? How can this Jets team handle the adversity, because this is a big test for the locker room, big test for the team, a big test for the leaders and the veterans. How can we make sure that this is not a distraction? And that's what we need to do. It's remarkable because you do look around this team. We have selfless players all over this roster. Elijah Vera Tucker has been asked to move around the offensive line, and he's been saying yes. He does not have to do that, but he is. Michael Carter has taken a backseat to the Breece Hall show. He's not complaining. Dwayne Brown, he's a veteran. I understand that, but he easily could have just taken the surgery, elected to sit out for the rest of the year, and get all that money the Jets gave him. But instead, he put the team first, and he wants to play football and help this team win. So now the Jets are benching Elijah Moore on Sunday because he's not there mentally, which I respect. And they got a big test this game because now all of a sudden there's a big distraction. So if we go out there on Sunday and lay an egg and lose, it's going to just be a big deal. And then we got a game against the Patriots at home, and then a game against the Bills at home, and then our bye, and then we're back on the road against the Patriots. So I really hope that this is not the beginning of the end. I don't think it is, but hey, man, listen. So my thought about what this season was all about is Robert Saleh, a head coach that this Jets fan base believes in, and that's going to be the guy to turn this franchise around. Can Zach Wilson prove to be a guy to win us some ball games? He's proved that once already. And is Zach Wilson proven to be the franchise quarterback? Going into this year, I wanted to see significant improvement from Zach Wilson, but I never expected him to light it up. I'm expecting the breakout from Zach in year 3. I've always said that. I'm not just saying that all of a sudden now. I've always said that before the year began. So the Jets are going to have to rely on Zach Wilson when they get in a situation where they need to, like against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, if Zach didn't do what he did against the Steelers, we'd be having a different conversation. But the fact is, he did. So, this is why, listen, I mean, we're a fan base that's passionate, and when stuff like this happens, it becomes toxic. And I've dealt with this before. This isn't something I'm not grown accustomed to. I've been covering this team for years. I know how to handle the Jets fan base. I hear both sides all the time. I hear the toxic people. I hear the positive people. I hear the negative people. It's part of this job of me reporting on this team. And I listen to every side. And I just voice my opinion, and I give a voice, and I give a platform to all sides. And that's where I'm at. But some things I just necessarily don't agree with. Because I just don't get why people are so obsessed with the Jets abandoning a winning formula just to satisfy stats. That's what doesn't make sense to me. What are we doing, guys? We're trying to make a push and play competitive games in December and go to the playoffs. You know how these guys can develop? You know how Zach Wilson's going to develop? It's by developing winning habits. In the second half, Zach Wilson against the Packers, 4 for 6. Like 80 passing yards and he had no turnovers in the whole game. So, you got to add context to this whole situation, man. I'm trying to win football games, and why would you want to abandon a formula that's winning of running the ball? But at the same time, I do agree that the Jets coaching staff needs to make adjustments of getting Elijah Moore and getting the wide receivers more involved. But sometimes the defenses are shutting it down. And it's not because Zach Wilson's missing throws. The wide receivers are not getting open sometimes. Like Garrett Wilson against the Packers, he was getting locked the hell down. Lockdown. And that's going to happen when you're a rookie. Garrett Wilson's not perfect. He's going to have some growing pains, right? And he did. But I think Elijah Moore sees the ascendance of Garrett Wilson. He sees Breece Hall becoming the guy. He sees Corey Davis getting more targets, and it's just rubbing Elijah the wrong way because he wants to be the guy. He does. So the best case scenario is the Jets to be a well-balanced offense, right? We want to run the football, set up the play action, find people over the middle, take some shots, little slip screens. You know, what this offense is all about is run first, play action, stretch the field down the stretch the ball down the field. And the reality is this offense has been so good at running that they don't have to rely on those passing attempts. So listen, there's nobody here that wants to see Zach Wilson succeed more than me. I understand it'd be way more satisfying if Zach is the reason why we're winning these games. If Zach, I mean, he did beat the Steelers, and I have to keep reminding you guys because it seems like people keep forgetting the fact that when the Jets needed Zach Wilson to step up, and I'm going to keep talking about it because it does feel like people are forgetting this. We're talking about 2 games. We're talking about 2 damn football games where Zach did not turn the ball over and did we not have to pass. And people are just up in arms about it. What about that game against the Pittsburgh Steelers? Do I have to remind everybody? His first game back, he struggled in the first half. And in the second half, he goes out there, down by 10 points in the fourth quarter. He wills his team back. 3rd and long, first down. 4th and 7, first down. Dart, touchdown. Dart, touchdown, Breece Hall, Jets win. So please do not make it seem like Zach Wilson has not proved anything. He went out there against the Steelers. He had some rust that everybody expected. He had a terrible interception that if you look at the tape, Elijah Moore quit on his route on that play. But it still was a bad throw by Zach Wilson. He learned from his mistakes. Quarterback play in football is all about adversity, how you can handle adversity. And what Zach Wilson showed against the Pittsburgh Steelers is that he can deal with adversity. And that's exactly what Zach Wilson showed. Zach Wilson brought this team back in the fourth quarter, and he was the reason why that Jets came back and won. And then the next 2 games, Zach Wilson did not have to rely on the passing game because the playmakers around him were elevating him and the run game was working. So I hear you guys, and we need to make sure that the Jets get this dub. What did Sauce say? Sauce say something? Another thing that's funny is I put so much time into a video on this channel yesterday all about the defense and how good this defense is. And no one's watching it because no one cares about positive stuff anymore because of this Elijah Moore situation. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility consider others as more important than yourselves. Damn. Hey, man, this could be... If there's anybody that's more faithful and religious on this team, I know it's Elijah Moore. So maybe Sauce is just trying to wake him up. Hey, Sauce, wake up. I mean, sorry. Sauce is like, Elijah, wake up, bro. But it is funny. Jets fans, and of course, it's big news. It's trending news. We have to talk about the Elijah Moore situation. But right when that news came out, I was like, wow, I'm about to post a video on how amazing this Jets defense finally is under Robert Saleh and how good Sauce has been and how good Quinnen has been. And then I post the video. No one's watching it because everyone wants to talk about Elijah. I was like, wow, bad timing, right? Bad timing on the defense video. Oh, man. Oh, Lord. Hey, let's just remind ourselves real quick. through all this negative feeling that we're feeling right now, the New York Jets are on a 3-game winning streak, and we're 4-2. And let's ride. Let's ride into Denver. Guys, if you're enjoying the stream, I would greatly appreciate if you guys hit that like button. I really do appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning into my chat. We got 40 likes with 162 people. I appreciate each and every one of you guys in the live stream voicing your opinions. You guys are all entitled to feel how you want to feel on this situation. Whether you're, you feel for Elijah, or you're totally against Elijah, or you hate Zach Wilson, or you love Zach Wilson, you hate the coaching staff, you love the coaching staff. I do appreciate all of you guys that is supporting my channel, man. Thank you so much. Jets country, let's ride, Daniel. You already know. So I want to talk about what Robert Saleh had to say this morning, because he basically, I think Robert Saleh is handling the situation as well as the head coach could. He defended Elijah Moore, and Elijah Moore, is back at the facility, and Saleh did not want to speak on Elijah Moore's behalf on how he's handling the fact that the Jets are not trading him. Saleh said, "You're not going anywhere, bro. Like, we're not trading you. You're a part of this organization. We drafted you for a reason, and you're going to be part of the turnaround." So Robert Saleh's handling this well. Make him inactive on Sunday. His mind is not right. I think it's a good thing. I did not want to see Elijah on the field Sunday, because then I don't know where his mind would be. Allow him a couple days to recoup. Hopefully we get a win Sunday, and then he gets back to his senses like, oh, wow, we're 5-2. Or maybe, I don't know. But it's going to be really interesting to see how this Jets team resolves this situation. Because what's a Jets season without some type of drama, right? So now let's transition to the Jets versus the Broncos, because this is a big-time test. I know that the Broncos are 2-4, but we cannot overlook this team. The Broncos have the best defense in the league, and the reason why they're 2-4 is because of how bad their offense is. So maybe that is why I do like our chances, is because how bad the Broncos offense is. But they still have Russell Wilson, who is not playing well, but he's still Russell Wilson. He's not playing like his prime Seattle days, but Broncos got playmakers, man. They got Jerry Jeudy. They got Sutton. They got a bunch of tight ends who is finding their way. Javonte Williams is injured, but they still got Melvin Gordon. They got Murray. They got Boone. They got playmakers. I mean, I don't really like their coach in Hackett, but Russell Wilson is a franchise quarterback. And I think they're pretty close to get clicking. And I think our defense has a big test, because if our defense is playing the way that they've been playing the last 3 games, I think this is going to be a low-scoring Jets W, best case scenario. I'm predicting like a 17-13 Jets dub, with another game that's relying on our offensive line to run the ball, and another game where Breece Hall goes off, and another game where we win and Zach does not put up a lot of numbers, and another game where some Jets fans are upset that Zach is not putting up numbers, but we're winning. That's my prediction. I'm predicting a very similar game to the Packers. It's going to be a snooze fest in the first half. It's going to be like 0-0, 3-0, 7-0. First half is going to be snooze fest, and then the Jets are going to make their adjustments, and they're going to go out there, and they're going to go into the fourth quarter and play their ball and get the dub. I think that this Jets team is going to stick to their roots, because honestly, if this Jets coaching staff all of a sudden starts feeling like, okay, we got to get Zach Wilson like cooking, and they abandon the game plan, what's been working, just to fill out the box score, and we start losing, I don't know, man. And don't get it twisted. This Elijah Moore debacle was starting with Joe Flacco at quarterback. So this is not a Zach Wilson situation. So don't start twisting this whole thing. Because I'll never forget when the Jets won against the Browns. It was Garrett Wilson's game. And Elijah Moore did not really seem to congratulate Garrett. You can see that he's a little jealous of Garrett. He's upset that he was barely targeted in that game. And then week 3 against the Bengals, Joe Flacco is the quarterback. And basically, Elijah was frustrated. And then Zach comes and it was the same. So it's not the quarterback issue. I think it's more of the coaching staff that's not maximizing Elijah Moore's talent. But like, can you fault the coaching staff though? That's where I'm getting back to. Because what the coaching staff is doing is winning ball games. So it's like, yeah, blame the coaches for Elijah Moore's frustration. But can we be that upset with the coaching staff because we're winning? That's my point. It would be a different conversation if the coaching staff was doing what they're doing and we're losing games and Elijah's frustrated. But the fact is the Jets coaching staff is sticking to their game plan and it's winning football games. So that's why it's like, bruh, why are we pointing fingers at the Jets coaching staff right now? 100% they are the ones to blame for Elijah Moore's frustration. But they're winning. The Jets have the most rushing touchdowns in the NFL in the last 3 games. Is that not impressive to you guys? Does the coaching staff does not deserve credit for that? We should just kick that to the curb. Jets coaching staff is ruining this team. I'll say it again. The Jets have 8 rushing touchdowns in 3 games. The most in the NFL. Who do we give credit to? We give credit to Mike LaFleur. We give credit to Benton, the offensive line coach. We give credit to the big men up front because all 5 offensive linemen playing good right now. And we're finally getting continuity and healthy on that offensive line. Breece Hall doing phenomenal stuff. Wide receivers are blocking well. Tight ends are blocking well. So this is just my point. And I'm not saying anyone's saying this or anyone's saying that. I'm just making sure that we understand that Elijah Moore is allowed to be frustrated with not being part of the winning, but you can blame the coaching staff for not getting Elijah Moore involved, but it's really hard to blame the coaching staff when the Jets are winning. Right? That's my point. And I hear Elijah. I hear him. He wants to be part of the turnaround. And he thought he'd be part of the turnaround. He really did. And I still think he will be. To be honest, I think this is all going to blow over. I think Elijah needed to have this breakout to let the team know how frustrated he really is. And then Mike LaFleur is going to go into the lab, and then he's going to start scheming up plays to get Elijah the ball. And then the Jets are going to feed Elijah, and then Elijah's going to get involved. He's going to have a 5-catch, 78-yard, and a touchdown game. And the Jets are going to win. And then all of a sudden, we're going to be like, oh, wow, Elijah needed to have that outburst. I don't know. I'm just trying to add some positive energy to this situation because you guys know me. I'm a positive guy. Positive vibes only over here. I like to hear all sides of the story. But you heard Robert Saleh. They have no plans of trading him. So I'm not here to tell any Jets fan to feel how you feel. That's not my job. My job as a Jets content creator is not to tell you how to be a Jets fan. That's not what I try to do here at all. Every single Jets fan is entitled to feel how they want to feel. And that's a fact. My job here is to speak for all sides and then give my opinion. And again, anybody that disagrees with my opinion, you're totally allowed to. This is a channel that it's an open dialogue, and we're allowed to feel some type of way. Because us as a fan base, the reason why we get toxic in these environments is because of how passionate we are. We're a passionate bunch of fans. We are one passionate group of fans. But can you guys imagine if Denzel Mims balls out Sunday? That would be awesome. Just saying. That would be sick. Because then we got an interesting situation. Like, okay, Denzel. How are we going to go back? How are we going to put you back onto the bench if you just ball out? Interesting stuff, man. Interesting stuff. My biggest concern is that this is going to like a loss on Sunday, and this is just, I don't even want to go there. I'm not going to allow myself to go there. I'm not going to allow myself to go there. So, hey, Elijah Moore breakout game versus New England. I love it. This is going to be a really big test for the culture of this team, though, because if they use this distraction as fuel to the fire and go out there against the Denver Broncos and beat their asses like we did against the Packers, we have a really good freaking team. Really good team. On the other hand, if that's not the case, then we're going to have an interesting conversation to have. But if we go out there and still play our fundies, we punch them in the face in the trenches, we ground and pound, we play hard-nosed defense, we limit turnovers, and we force turnovers. Zach gets his explosive plays, 1 or 2 plays to Corey or Garrett or no more Elijah, but whatever. Is Elijah officially inactive for Sunday? Jets chaos. Yes, he is. Elijah Moore will not be playing Sunday. Denzel Mims will be up in his replacement. What really frustrated me was A.J. Brown tweeting free Elijah. You kidding me, bro? Get the hell out of here with that nonsense. And listen, you can call Elijah Moore selfish. I understand that. What Robert Saleh had to say, which I found interesting, is he doesn't look at it as selfish. He looks at it as a competitor. Because, and I'm not saying I'm not defending Elijah in this situation. Don't get it twisted. But I'm just putting us in his shoes where he's a competitor. He wants to be a reason why they're winning. He wants to be putting up numbers. He wants to be putting up touchdowns. He wants to be part of the reason why the Jets are winning. And realistically, he's not. That's my thing, Carlos. Free him from what? A winning organization? Covered in Sauce with another donation says, Moore needs to realize establishing a run game only helps him stop having a short-term mindset. Yeah, he does have a short-term mindset right now. Appreciate the donation, Covered in Sauce. So I just found it interesting what Robert Saleh said. Saleh's going to do everything in his power to defend each player on this team, and I think he did a good job. Because what do you want? Saleh to call him selfish to the media and our own head coach to call him out and just put him in a bad light? No. Saleh's trying to resolve this situation. Saleh's going to defend Elijah Moore because Robert Saleh sees Elijah Moore as a big part of this team. So for him, his job is to, galvanize the squad, go to Elijah, speak to him, and tell him how much we love you, and tell him that you're part of the team. Now, was it a selfish act? 100% it was a selfish act. I'm not saying it wasn't. But I just respect what Robert Saleh had to say. Man, I'm just really excited to see what Denzel Mims can do, man. I really am. Because I've been one of the biggest Denzel Mims guys since we drafted him. And I've been really disappointed the way that Denzel Mims' career has went in terms of not getting a chance. And when he does get a chance, he kind of just last year just had a lot of issues. But I am really excited to see what Denzel Mims can do, man. I really am. So let's do it. Let's go, Denzel. You want to be a guy to prove that you're worth something in this league, now is the time. Now is the time. So, the Jets, they have to go out there and prove a big-time game on Sunday. Now, I'm not going to put a lot of expectations on Denzel to light it up because that's just not fair. Because if Elijah Moore is not involved in the offense, what makes me think that Denzel would be involved in the offense right away? But hey, I'm loving it. I've always been a Denzel guy, by the way. So I don't know where you're getting that idea from. Just because I love Corey Davis doesn't mean I'm not a Denzel Mims guy, bro. Go back and watch all the videos. I've been wanting Denzel. When he demanded a trade, I was like, why, Denzel? Come on. And I was happy the Jets did not trade him. Because I think Denzel is a valuable player on this team. Just because I love Corey Davis and I think he's a big, impactful player on this team doesn't mean I have anything against Denzel. I love Denzel. And I'm hoping that he takes over. There's nothing more than I would like is for Denzel to finally get his opportunity and seize the moment and get in the end zone or do something fun. But at the same time, guys, we have to give credit to Joe Douglas because what Joe Douglas is doing is building an offense that's filled with playmakers. We have 8 mouths to feed. 8. And it so happens that one of those mouths is upset because he's not getting the ball. Now, I don't think it's justifiable, but I still feel like it's fun that this Jets team is so stacked with talent on offense that the ball can't go to everyone. And my biggest thing about A.J. Brown is I heard an interview from him, and he said something that is just the most hypocritical thing. He was giving the offensive coordinator of the Eagles credit because there's a lot of mouths to feed in the Eagles. They got Devontae Smith. They got himself. They got Miles Sanders. They got Dallas Goedert. And he was talking about all the players on this offense. And he's like, yeah, one day it's going to be my day. Next week could be Devontae Smith's week. The next time it could be Goddard's week. The next time it could be Sanders' week. And it's up to the offensive coordinator who's done a great job is to feed all of us. Hello? That's what's going on with the Jets right now, bro. We have all these talent. And Mike LaFleur is trying his best to get everyone the ball. So that was a little hypocritical from A.J. Brown. Just saying. If A.J. Brown is on his own team, he's content with being, not fed. I guess you could say A.J. Brown got his money. So he's content with that. Where Elijah hasn't. And Elijah's trying to get paid. And he's not going to get paid unless he is the guy. I don't know. Because that's the reason. But at the same time, bro. Come on. I just really hope that the Jets utilize this as an opportunity to get better and not worse. Listen, man. I'm personally excited for Denzel Mims' season debut. I don't know about you guys. I think that he is a very talented receiver that has a big body that can line up and go out there. Honestly, the way that they're using Elijah Moore is better suited for Denzel Mims in terms of talent. Elijah Moore is not a guy that you want to send on go routes, and that's definitely the coach's fault for doing that. But at the end of the day, it seems like they're using Elijah as a decoy. He's getting open down the field, but they're going underneath more. They're running the ball more, and that's why Elijah's frustrated. But if you send Denzel on go routes and you throw the ball up, I like Denzel's chances to get that ball sometimes. RW says, I'm sick of this Zach slander. He isn't turning the ball over. He's doing what the coaches want, and he's winning. So much for so-called Jets fans saying they have patience and want players to develop. Cannot agree more, RW. I cannot agree more. If Zach was turning the ball over and still winning, I'd understand. But the fact is, he has 10 quarters in a row with turnover-free ball. He's asking what the coaches are doing from him. He's managing the game, and he's winning. Listen, I hear Jets fans wanting him to light up the box score so we could finally say we have a franchise quarterback. But the reality is Zach Wilson has not proved to be the franchise quarterback. He also has he has also proved not to be the franchise quarterback. Both can be true. Does that make sense? Zach is not playing to the point where Jets fans can crown him as the guy, the savior of the team, but he's also not playing enough to say he's bad. All right, Indiana Jets. Guess what, bro? The Jets have the most touchdowns on the ground in the league since Zach Wilson's returned. 8 rushing touchdowns in the NFL. So just because he has 1 touchdown through the air through 12 quarters doesn't mean the Jets offense is not scoring points. The Jets have the most rushing touchdowns in the NFL since Zach Wilson returned. And one of those rushing touchdowns was Zach Wilson. So that's my point. This Jets offense is not all about passing and passing and passing, and Zach has to get the passing touchdowns. And by the way, Zach should have had two passing touchdowns. Breece Hall was down at the 1-yard line on those 2 plays against the Dolphins. Literally 1-yard line. So that should have been 2 touchdowns for Zach. If you really care that much about box score and that much about passing touchdowns, if that's how you evaluate a quarterback. The Jets are playing with 8 rushing touchdowns, and they're grounding and pounding the balls down their throat. They are running through pain. So I don't understand why Jets fans are complaining about that. Five rushing touchdowns in one game against the Dolphins. 2 of those touchdowns should have been passing, but Breece was down at the 1-yard line. Now, both things can be true. The Jets are dominating on the run, and they're not playing well through the pass, and you want to see them, open things up a little bit more. And it's not like the passing game is struggling because Zach is missing throws and Zach is turning the ball over. That's not the issue, by the way. The issue is it's a mixture of, the quarterback for sure. It's a mixture of the wide receivers not getting open at times. And it's a mixture of the scheme. And they're working their way through it. So, is the passing game perfect right now? Absolutely not. Is it playing good right now? No, it's not. But it's not a negative that the running attack is this playing the best running attack in the league in the last 3 weeks. That's why I'm okay with sacrificing the passing game for now. But they're going to have to pass when they need to. When the Jets are down in the 4th, Zach Wilson's going to have to start passing. And we all know that. And we saw him do it against the Steelers. Now, is he going to do it every time? I don't know. I'd love him to. Against the Denver Broncos, I honestly think we're going to have to see a little more from Zach than we did against the Packers. I think we're going to have to put the ball in Zach Wilson's hands in order for us to win that game. It's going to be a big test. Because the Denver Broncos, they shut down Justin Herbert. Herbert had 1 interception and no touchdowns against the Broncos. 0 passing touchdowns, by the way. Justin Herbert, one of the best quarterbacks, young quarterbacks in the NFL, had 0 passing touchdowns against the Denver Broncos. 0, and they won the game. There's so many ways you can win in this league. And Justin Herbert turned the ball over more than he scored against the Broncos last week, but the Chargers still beat them. So the Jets need to open the playbook up. They need to get Zach Wilson in rhythm early. I would like to see some early completions because it's true, man. The running game is not going to be able to dominate every single week. If that's the case, then we are really going to be a playoff team. If the run game plays the way that it's been playing the last couple of 3 weeks for the rest of the season, then we are going to be elite. But the fact is, there's going to be teams out there that is going to shut down the run. That's a fact. They're going to stack the box and force Zach Wilson to throw. And then that's when Zach Wilson in this offensive scheme is going to have to open up the playbook. Garrett Wilson's going to have to get open. Corey Davis is going to have to get open. If Elijah Moore's playing, he's going to have to get open. The tight ends. So, even though the Jets are running the ball heavy right now, you got to look at the defense we're going up against, though, at the same time. We're going up against the best defense against the pass, and the Broncos' defense is not that good against the run. So what do you think the game plan is going to be this Sunday? I would love to see a well-balanced attack. But you got to establish a run first. And when the run is working as good as that it's been, hey. And also, I know that Zach only had 110 passing yards, but in that second half, the Jets were tied 3-3. The Jets made adjustments in the third quarter. On that touchdown drive, the first touchdown of the game, can we just take a second and look at what happened? Zach Wilson finds Corey Davis over the middle for a 15-yard completion. The very next play, Zach Wilson throws the football 40 yards down the field. Completion. That's 60 yards through the air, down to the 20-yard line. The next play is a rush to Braxton Berrios, touchdown. And then the next drive, Zach Wilson screen pass to CJ Uzomah, first down. The next play, Tyler Conklin over the middle, first down. Zach had 4 completions in the second half. He was 4 for 6. And then the Jets just ran it down their throat. So that's why I'm not concerned right now, because yes, I want to see more from Zach. I want to see him pass the ball more. There's nobody that wants to see him get in the end zone more through the air than me. But it's really hard to look at the context and say, hey, Dallas with a $20 donation. Thank you so much, bro. We appreciate that here on Jets Media, my man. RW is correct. I've seen a lot of Jets rookie quarterbacks on year 2 throwing interception after interception and not understanding throwing the ball away. Zach leaps and bounds better than any other young quarterback we have drafted. And that's a fact, man. For the people that's slandering Zach, we have to understand that he's not turning the ball over. He'll learn from his mistakes against the Pittsburgh Steelers when he had those 2 turnovers. He's been playing turnover-free ball for the last 10 quarters, and he's making the right plays when he needs to in the 4th. So, now, am I expecting him to play turnover-free football for the rest of the year? Am I expecting him to have a clean game on Sunday and not turn the ball over? That'd be great, but it's hard to expect that against a stout defense of the Broncos. I think he's going to probably, I don't want to manifest it, but realistically, he's due for a turnover against this elite defense. So Zach has still a lot to prove, and I don't want to get it twisted. I'm not sitting here thinking that Zach Wilson is the answer and the franchise guy. I think he could be. I think he has everything. He possesses all the qualities. I've been impressed with his progression so far. I've been impressed with his clutch ability. But yes, comparing to the other young Jets quarterbacks that are turnover prone, Zach seems to not be. He cleaned up his mistakes in his rookie season. Remember, he started off the year as a turnover machine. He got injured. He comes back. He goes 5 straight games with no turnovers. That speaks volumes. And especially if you look at who his playmakers were at the end of those games. So, Dallas, I appreciate the $20, my man. Youthphoria says, after watching those 2 pick 6 yesterday, Jets D touchdown. Oh, that would be great. That would be great, bro. Can we get a special teams to win the game? Listen, if the Jets are in the 4th quarter on Sunday and they don't need to pass the ball, that means that we're going to win the game, by the way. If we're in the 4th quarter and we don't need a run, that means we're winning and we're going to win the game. If Zach is passing the 4th quarter, then it's a close game and Zach has to step up. And he's shown that he has the capability of doing it at least once this year. Now let's see if he can do it again. Let's take a second and take an appreciation for the players on our team that are playing with high character and leadership. Elijah Vera Tucker, he deserves a captain on his chest. We saw that clip of AVT from last year when Elijah threw his helmet down and walked to the locker room, and AVT was like, "We don't do that, bro. Pick up your helmet. Keep your head up." AVT is a captain. The Jets coaching staff are asking AVT to do something that no offensive lineman does in the league, and he's doing it. CJ Uzama, he's basically not even part of the passing attack. He's another offensive lineman. He's not complaining. Michael Carter, yes, he is getting the end zone. He has some touchdowns this year, but Breece Hall is taking over that backfield, and he's not complaining. So this team is filled of selfless guys, but Elijah Moore has seemed to not be. He's a competitive player that wants the ball. What's up, George? George says, "Rich, you got to be honest, you have established your channel exceptionally well. You have met Elijah and he recognizes you. Would you attempt to invite him to chat?" Yeah, I don't think he'd accept it. I don't think he'd want to come on the show. His dad actually unfollowed me on Twitter, so I think his dad is over the Jets too. That's why this is such a big shock to me, because everything I gathered from Elijah from meeting him is just high character, just great person, loves the fans, loves the Jets, loves the organization, loves his fan base, which is why this is just a really weird situation for me, because I met him. I talked to him at training camp. He was walking back to the facility, and I was talking to him like, "Yo, big season, man. I'm excited to see what you got." And he's like, "Appreciate you, bro. Like, good luck." And yeah, so very, very confusing. Salah said Mims will play, but may or may not start. Yeah, I'm not expecting Mims to start, to be honest. Starting means that he's on the field with the offense right when the first offense is out there. Just because he's starting doesn't mean he's not going to play. Denzel's going to play. He's going to get opportunities. He's going to be on the field. He's going to run routes. Will he get targets? I don't know. I can't say that for certain. I hope he does. But, there's guys ahead of him on the depth chart, which is why he's been inactive. Braxton Berrios, Jeff Smith has been ahead of him. So those guys are going to be ahead of Denzel, but Mims is still going to be getting his opportunities. Now, this is a great question. How do they resolve the situation with Moore? How do they bring him back? Well, they will bring him back because he's not going anywhere. So how you resolve it is you have the front office tell him that we value you and we're not trading you. You have the coaching staff tell him the same thing. We value you and we're not trading you. And then it's Mike LaFleur's job to talk to him as the offensive coordinator. Say, "Listen, Elijah, open up to me. What's the issue? What don't you like? What do you want me to do?" And have an open dialogue. And then Elijah will say, "Hey, I prefer you do run me on these routes. I hope that you would target me more on these." And then it's Mike LaFleur's job to do that. To not send him on go routes 33% of the time. To not send him on the outside and just decoy routes and let him run routes and he's not even targeted. It's up to the coaching staff to maximize Elijah Moore's potential. Because, listen, I know that Jets fans have turned on Elijah already. But please don't forget how talented this man really is. And it's a fact. We saw it at the end of his rookie season before he got injured. He's a guy that is quick. He's shifty. He is athletic. He can make people miss the open field. He's got great hands. So this is a player that we want to establish a relationship with long term. This is not a player that we want to just kick rocks and kick out. I know that we're in our feelings right now as a fan base, and when somebody turns on the franchise, he's public enemy number one. I understand all that, and I'm not saying you shouldn't feel that way. But from a Jets organization perspective, their goal is to resolve the situation with Elijah, Make him a big part of this team, because what this Jets team wants is Elijah Moore and Garrett Wilson to be the future of this wide receiver room. So that's really where I'm at with this, because Elijah Moore is a very good football player, and I don't want that. I don't want this whole situation to like cloud Jets fans about it. We need to get Elijah Moore involved in this offense in order for this to be resolved. And it's up to the Jets coaching staff to do that. You don't have to abandon the entire running attack to do that. You line them up at the slot, you nice little slant over the middle, a dig route, an out route. I mean, against the Pittsburgh Steelers in the first quarter when Zach Wilson's return, Zach found Elijah Moore on back-to-back catches. And I'm like, let's go, Elijah's back. But then he didn't get the ball the rest of the game. It was the Corey Davis show in the second half. Remember, it was like a 20-yard comeback, beautiful throw from Zach to Elijah Moore, first down, and then he found Elijah Moore over the middle. Elijah Moore ran to the 30-yard line. He had 2 back-to-back big plays, and then the second half, it was more of a Corey Davis show. So this team has a really good problem on their hands that we have so many playmakers, so many mouths to feed, so it's hard to make everybody happy. I bet you Garrett Wilson is a little frustrated, but I think he's not going to be the guy to – he's a rookie. He has no right to say what he's got. He had his time. Garrett Wilson broke out against the Browns, and since then he's been very quiet. It's been the Brees show since then. So these guys have to really look at themselves, have a players meeting and say, listen, we have a big picture here, man. We could be really freaking good. And we have to really understand that we have so much talent, and we all have to realize that it's going to be a different person's day every other day. Maybe it's going to be Brees's day every day because he's that damn good. But that's my take on it, bro. That's really what it comes down to, bro. It's Mims time, baby. I'm afraid of that these issues, Elijah's frustration and immaturity, are because of the inadequate play calling. Praying this doesn't trickle down to other frustrated offensive players. Yeah, I agree. Obviously the coaching staff is a big reason why Elijah's frustrated. But then it's like the team is winning with the way the coaching staff is playing, so it's hard to really blame them. You feel me? Mims and Corey Davis on the outside, both 6'3". Wilson the slot with Berrios. Go Jets. Hell yeah, Joe. I'm excited, man. I think the duo of Denzel with Corey Davis is going to be a good one, man. I really do. Because those two guys are very similar in their play style. You know? Denzel Mims, I've always looked at him as the future of this team. Of that position that Corey Davis is at. But Corey has been playing so good in his role this year. You feel me? Corey has been playing great in his role, so it's hard to really bash on him. Because why take somebody out when he's playing that well? Corey has done everything he's been asked to do. He's been a big reason why that the Jets won against the Steelers. He got free against the Browns. He set up that touchdown to Braxton Berrios against the Packers with the 2 explosive plays. So I think that this is a interesting problem that this Jets team has, man. Very interesting problem. Saleh insisting Elijah Moore high character right now is a joke. I don't know, man. I think it's Saleh's job to defend his players. I really do. I feel like I like what Robert Saleh said personally, and you can agree, you can disagree with me. I'm not, and that's totally okay. But I personally want to see our head coach defend our players no matter what. Do you want Robert Saleh to go out there and call him out saying he's not a high character guy, he's a selfish, and he's this, and that, negative? That's going to be blown up even more. It's Robert Saleh's job to resolve this situation as the head coach. Because Elijah Moore is valuable in this organization. He's trying to make this not a big deal. He's asked about. It's hard for him not to say something when the media is asking him 8 questions in a row about it. Corey Davis is Zach's favorite target. Yes, he is, Hennessy, and he's answering the bell. And there's nothing wrong with that. It still blows my mind that there's people that don't like that Corey Davis is succeeding this year. Do I have to remind you of who led the team in receiving against the Packers and who had that explosive play? Who was it, Hennessy? Let me know. Who was that guy that got a 41-yard reception? Who was that guy that got in the end zone against the Pittsburgh Steelers and got back-to-back targets and catches? It's Corey. The fact is, this Jets team is talented. We got a lot of players. It hurts them to see Corey Davis making big plays. Facts. I mean, listen, Jets fans. My question is, are you a Jets fan or are you like something else? Because when you see Corey make a play like that, like for example, when you saw Zach Wilson throw that bomb down the field on the run to Corey for 40-yard gain, are you like, oh, that's Corey, I'm pissed. Oh, man, I'm rooting against Corey Davis. Like, is that... Is that what these Corey Davis haters are doing? And don't get it twisted. Just because I love Corey does not mean I don't like Denzel Mims. Now you're just putting words in my mouth. Like this guy right here is putting words in my mouth. Always been a Mims guy. Anybody that's watched my channel for years knows I've been a Mims guy. Just because I love Corey does not mean I don't love Mims. That's what you don't get. I respect Corey Davis as the veteran on this team to be a reliable weapon for our quarterback. I also want Denzel Mims on this team to make plays. Both can be true. I don't know where you're getting these things from. The reason why I said what I said is because I still don't get why the Corey Davis slander is out there. Like, the people that hate Corey, are you just like rooting against him to the point where he makes a big catch and you're pissed off? Or are you pumped up that our young quarterback and made a big play? That's my point. That's what I don't get. When I praise Corey Davis, it has nothing to do with slandering Denzel Mims. I love Denzel Mims. I always have, and I want him to be there. It's just a fact. Richie, we won because of Breece Hall, but teams are looking at and will find ways to shut him down. What then if we are having these issues with our passing game? Yeah, that's going to be the big thing, man. That's going to be the big test for this offense. When they shut down the run, which is very likely to happen, how is Zach Wilson going to respond? How is Zach Wilson going to respond? How is this offense going to respond? How is LaFleur going to call plays? How is the receivers going to get open? How is the offensive line going to protect? Those are all things. Richie is a Jets guy, and us Jets guys want wins. Runs, passes, block, punts by any means necessary. Barney knows me, man. I'm about the Jets. And I respect talent, and I respect impactful winning when I see it. The difference between us and them is when Mims makes plays, we will be excited. When Corey makes plays, they are salty. Facts. When Denzel goes out there on Sunday and say he balls out, I'm going to be freaking pumped. But if Corey goes off, those people are going to be upset. Like, are you a Jets fan or not? That's what I don't get. Like, luckily we don't have this situation, but you see other fan bases like the Patriots, for example. They're going through a whole situation with the quarterback controversy. Some Patriots fans want Bailey Zappi, and they hate Mac Jones. Some Patriots fans love Mac Jones, and they have a debacle where Master at Work, for example, the guy in the round table is a Patriots fan. He is rooting against Mac Jones when he plays because that's how much he loves Bailey Zappi. He's putting a player above the Patriots. That's like crazy. Same with the Dolphins and the whole Tua stuff. There were some Dolphins fans saying Skyler is this, screw Tua, vice versa. My point is, root for the wins, man. If Denzel Mims goes out there on Sunday and balls out, that's going to be freaking glorious. Because we are going up against one of the best young corners in the league in Patrick Surtain, and my guess is he's going to be on Garrett Wilson the whole time, probably. That seems to be the wide receiver that defenses are honing in on. I'd have Elijah no more ride the bench rest of the year. Well, he is talented, so I would like Elijah on the field because he helps us win. But if he keeps up with the stuff that he's been saying, then yeah, that's going to happen. Anyone who is mad about specific players care more about their fantasy team than their football team. Yeah, man, it's true. When he balls out. You're right, Jets Forever. Got to manifest it. When Denzel balls out. Corey scored a touchdown, and you said it wasn't good enough. Hey, man. Allow Jets fans to feel how they feel. They're more than welcome to feel how they feel. If Jess Smith balls out, we got a good wide receiver controversy on our hands. Facts. Yeah, so on Sunday, if you want to talk about the game a little more instead of this toxic nonsense. There's so much pressure now on this game because if we lose, it's going to feel like the sky is falling, right? Which I don't think the case is. We're going to be 4-3. But then we're going to have a big test against the Patriots and then the Bills. Schedule is tough right now, and hopefully we go 2-2 the next 4 games minimum. If we go 2-2 the next 4 games, I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Another thing about this Jets team that people need to understand is we're winning with youth, which is why it feels good. If we were winning with all these veterans, there's no sustainability with this. J-Boy with the $5 says, question to everyone. Do you like winning or playing favorites? Great question, Jay. Would you prefer the Jets to win or sacrifice winning for just playing your favorite players? Great question, J-Boy. So, I appreciate everybody tuning in to the stream, man. We got 200 people watching the stream, and I'm loving everything about it. We're having a great time. Jets fans should feel happy. Regardless of this Elijah Moore situation, came out of nowhere, came out of left field, didn't expect this to happen, but it's the business. It's the reality of football, I guess, at times. And you gotta take the punches with the winning. So let's hope that this Jets team can go out there, get the job done on Sunday, and we'll have another victory Monday. Let's hope, right? The key to victory has been the same keys every week. Run the football, play good defense, win the game. It's that simple. It's that simple. I'm still going to give Elijah Moore another second chance with this team. I am not turning on him. I know a lot of Jets fans are, and I'm not saying you shouldn't. You have every right to believe or feel how you want. I personally think Elijah Moore is a very talented player who is a competitor and wants the ball. I mean, we saw like Keyshawn Johnson with the Jets. Give me the damn ball. We saw all that, but the difference is those receivers that did it, like Chad Johnson, they've established in something and they've done something in the league where Elijah hasn't. So Elijah's a competitor. He wants the ball, and he's looked at as a selfish player because he turned on this Jets team, and it's just that reality. Richie, you calling this game? Yes, I'll be live during the game. Everyone hit that like button. Thank you, bro. Yeah, man. So I'm going to wrap up the stream here, guys. Let's hope that the Jets can go out there on Sunday and get the job done. Jeff Smith and Denzel Mims will be getting more playing time on this offense with the departure of Elijah Moore to the bench. And let's hope that his defense can step up and Breece Hall can continue his dominance. And maybe Garrett Wilson can get going. That'll be great. Maybe Zach Wilson will have a good game. But I'm just really not expecting this to be Zach Wilson's breakout because of the defense we're going up against. And I hope I'm wrong. I prefer him to break out, right? But this Jets team has a lot to prove now because now we're being talked about in this way, which we went from being like all the way up on the top of the world back down. But we're still winning, and we'll see if we can continue that trajectory of winning on Sunday. So thank you guys all for listening to me talk about the Jets, and I really appreciate each and every one of you guys. Let's go, Jets. Let's go get the W on Sunday. I'll be at the Knicks game tonight. Let's go, Knicks. And let's go. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out. All love.